It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Hey, today I'm going to get on my Clear Touch interactive board. I got my magic pen. We're going to talk about the OEMs again. But before I do that, I want to do a shout out to the BTA organization. Ladies and gentlemen, spring break is on the horizon. March 19th and 20th at the Grand Floridian Disney property in Orlando. The BTA is getting together. The last time the BTA got together was at this meeting in 2020. And folks, right after the meeting, you know, that's when the whole world started shutting down, the COVID thing, all the nonsense. But guess what? We're getting back together in person. So call up Brett Hoskins, go to bta.org, get your tickets for the meeting, get your plane tickets, get down there. Folks, it's going to be a ball. Drinking beers at the bar, talking to your peers. Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, the whole Disney family will be there to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to seeing everybody on March 19th and 20th. But somebody reached out to me the other day and they said, Ray, who's going to exit? And I've done a couple of different videos on my Clear Touch interactive board, told you some of the possibilities that I see. But today I want to talk about not only who's going to exit, but I want to talk about the entrance of Fujifilm. Let me circle Fujifilm down here because somebody asked me the other day, is Fujifilm going to really come to the Americas and the EMEA? And I'm thinking to myself, well, if they're going to come to try to disrupt the $55 billion A3 industry like our friends over at HP, I think they're nuts. Probably not going to work out. But if they're going to come and take somebody out when they get here, that could make some sense. So the question would be, who do they take out, which would answer who's going to exit. So here's what I'm thinking, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Fujifilm called up Toshiba and said, hey, Toshiba, you know, Toshiba print is between 10 and 13% at Toshiba Tech of the revenue. Profits are kind of really dropping off the chart. You don't really make your own equipment. Why don't you just give that business to us? That would kind of give Fujifilm a footprint. You see where I'm going with that? The other thing they could do is they could call up Sharp, and kind of the same story. They could say, hey, Sharp, you know, your print business, that print business part of Sharp, it's like 1% of Foxconn's total revenue. You know, you could do some other stuff with the Sharp, you know, refrigerators and all those other Sharp products you got, but give us the print business. Give us that footprint for the print business. You know, Foxconn might think that's not a bad idea. Because, ladies and gentlemen, every single one of these players on my board here, they're down like 20%. They're not coming back. Pre-COVID volumes aren't coming back. The industry's in decline. It has to consolidate. It doesn't make any sense for some person to come to the Americas and the EMA and say, we're here, we're going to sell A3 copiers. That's just would be insanity. Unless they take somebody out. You know, I want to talk about Xerox for a second because some people still get confused. Xerox is not a damn manufacturer. Xerox makes production print. That's all they do. 4 or 5 models, maybe 3 models. They just assume give that away. They don't care. Xerox has put themselves in a position to sell and service print equipment to end users. Think about our friends at Global Imaging. Remember the old Global Imaging? Multiple products. They've kind of figured some of that out, right? Ladies and gentlemen, they're in a really good position in a declining marketplace. They're in what I call the power position because they're the path to the end user. And if the manufacturers were smart, this is one of the reasons when they were trying to buy HP, and I kept beating the hell out of HP, why don't you see the benefits of this? They still don't see the benefits of this, or they're just trying to hide from what they see because of insecurities, who knows? But at the end of the day, if HP and Xerox got together, Xerox gave them a distribution to the end user with more complicated products. You see where I'm going with this? Anybody can sell a printer direct to the end user. Who cares? Buy a $2 or $200 printer and be done with it. But when you need something a little more sophisticated, and as you start diversifying into those deliverables, you know, getting into more compute products, you need a footprint in the SMB's office, and Xerox has that footprint. And Xerox could go to any one of these manufacturers and work out a deal. Now, we already saw that Xerox went down there to Lexmark with their finance business and said, hey, Lexmark, be our first OEM that we finance your equipment as you put it out into the marketplace, either on a lease or a rental. Let us do that for you. Lexmark said, that'd be fantastic. Do it. Because see, Lexmark, they just want to make printers and MFPs. That's what they want to do. They want to make A4 MFPs and printers, and they want those to get distributed into the marketplace. They don't want to run around with a bunch of direct offices. That's lunacy. Let somebody else do that. Well, guess what? It won't be long before that agreement between Xerox and Lexmark turns into what I call the A4 agreement. Folks, you know it's coming. Come on. Pretty soon, Lexmark will be selling A4 equipment through Xerox. That'll be Xerox's A4 product line. The question for Xerox is this. Do they do what I suggest? Go down there to Konica and say, give us all your distribution. You be our manufacturer like Fuji used to be. Or do they say, you know what? Let's just go to all the manufacturers and say, hey, we can move your products and this is what we need from you to do it. Again, I believe Xerox is heading into the power seat. The delusion of these manufacturers delivering direct to end users and manufacturing those products and then trying to diversify into other services on top of that is nuts. It's not working. We saw Konica Minolta's third quarter results, right? Their year ends in March. Their third quarter results weren't pretty. Their year ending in March probably won't be pretty. We saw the same thing with Ricoh. These are the two biggest direct footprint operations that have diversified into IT services and other products that have terrible, terrible financials, right? It is what it is. So does that mean that a manufacturer cannot deliver into the marketplace profitably as they diversify? That's what it's starting to look like. When Ricoh decided back in 2017 to get rid of the direct offices, what did they say? It was too costly to deliver into the marketplace as a manufacturer. Again, that's putting Xerox in that power seat, folks. Because they're not crippled by what they make. Their power is in choosing what they wish to sell. Their power is in choosing what they wish to sell, and that choice, you have people lining up, especially as the industry continues to decline. So there has to be consolidation. We all know it. Does Fuji come in and take two out? Toshiba and Sharp? Real possibility. Does HP just sit out there on an island by themselves? Probably so. After all, they're going to disrupt the whole entire industry by selling their A3 equipment. We're all just waiting for that to happen. Of course, it's probably not ever going to happen. Canon has a direct operation. Do they spin that off to somebody? Do they work a deal with Xerox and say, you know what? If you buy our A3 equipment, well, we'll give you our distribution. Will they beat Konica at that? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, Xerox is looking like they're in a pretty good position for the consolidation if you can think past what's in front of you. Think about their augmented reality services platform. Think about their relationships with ServiceNow and Accenture. Think about their financial business. Folks, there's a lot to think about, but I got to tell you something. Of all the players on the board behind me, there's only been one in the last 12, 18 months that has done anything different. Anything. They got in there and they fixed their finances. They're actually making profit. They got in there and they consolidated up some of their distribution, cleaned house. They made tough decisions. And now they split the company up into 3 separate units. They're thinking about the future and what that future is. And they're planning to be the business that delivers to end users products and services, and now they're in the ability to choose those products and services they deliver. Not a bad place to be in a declining marketplace. Just something to think about, my friends, because we all know this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.